my friends, how you doing? It is a stormy kind of day in Missouri, and it's not too bad. I'm actually kind of glad because hopefully this video quality will be a little bit better, because aside from the mic issues I had the last time I tried to take outward facing video, I also have had so many bugs on my windshield that I can't, and also I have a hard time reaching the center of the windshield where the camera's mounted, and of course there's like big blobs of bug guts right in front of the camera, and I'm like, oh man, it drives me crazy. It's really tough this time of year, so it's kind of a blessing when it rains, because it, you know, helps to get the windshield pretty clean. I gotta say, I didn't even clean it this morning. I had to fuel, and I'm bringing my truck in as soon as possible to the shop sometime in the next few days. I don't know how long this trip is going to take. I need to do some trip planning. I am headed from Missouri to a pickup. I'm doing a drop-in hook here at a place I've been to before, Cheese Load, and I'm going from there to a pickup in South Dakota to a place I also have been to, but I can't picture it right now, but I know I'll remember it when I get there. And then I'm going to Idaho. I've never been to Idaho. I know some stereotypes about Idaho, but I'm looking forward to a new drive, seeing some new scenery, and maybe getting some good video for you all. But there's a couple of like small things going on with my truck. There's one thing that I might need to get looked at sooner rather than later, but hopefully it'll be okay until I get to maintenance at our company shop. But I have a leak of hub oil on the passenger side steer, and I've had that happen before. I know sometimes something like that can be related to the suddenly warmer weather, but it's also something I can't totally put off, and I really should have sent them photos already. I did call and let them know about it, and they didn't send me immediately to a shop, so I guess that's kind of puts my mind at ease. But there's the air filters I'm asking them to put in, change, so this truck doesn't stank, and fix my driver's seat that still sits on a wonky angle, so I jam a sweatshirt underneath the seat cushion that I sit on so I'm not tweaking my back all day long. Shoot, I don't remember what the other thing was that I was going to mention, but I'll probably think of it as I'm talking. It's a really pretty sky today. I love this, and this makes me wish I was on a paddleboard on Lake Michigan, because I have been out there when it's bordering on thunderstorm. Obviously, I avoid being on the water when there's active lightning and thunder. But it's like when it's just before a storm, that's kind of my favorite time to be out there, and I just stay close to shore because it's so beautiful. It's like just this breathtaking scene of these stormy, angry clouds over the water, and then the water always gets this really cool shade of green. It's really unique, and it's really cool. But alas, so I'm heading on a new trip today, and I'm looking forward to that. However, drawbacks, I really need to do laundry. I'm starting to run out of stuff, but I'm not too bad. I got a few more days left before it gets to be a point where I'll have to like do it at a truck stop. I'd just rather not. It's nice if I can wait till I get to the terminal and do it there for free in nice big washing machines and nice big washer and dryer that aren't used by thousands of people, and free detergent and all that stuff is also nice. And being able to throw your laundry in and then go take a shower and do other things and then go back and not worry about it, that's pretty cool too. I like where I'm at now. That's one nice thing about being at a smaller terminal. The last company I was at, because it was a bigger company, you kind of had to keep a close eye on your laundry, because the laundry room was way too small for the number of people that needed to use it, and it was very busy a lot of the time. And I always set a timer on my phone whenever I put laundry in, because I don't want to keep people waiting. We're all on a schedule. But there was one time when I had stuff still in the dryer and I had another load in the wash, and I wasn't thinking like, oh, this stuff, you know, someone else's dryer might free up and then I'm going to be taking up this washer. Someone moved all my stuff into the dryer, which I thought was actually nice of them, because they could have just thrown it on the counter, you know, which that'll happen. People will take your laundry out of the washing machine and just throw it damp on the counter. Or one guy told me that someone had taken his laundry out when it was still like in the mid-cycle and it was soaking wet and just threw their own shit in the washer. I was like, it's a bad idea, because then the cycle is going to be off and it might not even start right and your laundry might get screwed up too. Who does that though? Like, who does stuff like that? I don't know, man. It takes all kinds. There's a lot of really nice, polite, cool people out here doing this work, but then there's also a lot of people that just, you know, are not so considerate, let's put it that way, to be gentle about it. So that, and then I'm also starting to run out of groceries. My little fruit basket thingy that I keep fully stocked is officially empty, save for the last few mandarins that are getting gnarly. I'll still try to eat them anyway, but they get to that point where the peel starts to harden and you're like, I think these are on their last peels. I don't know. What else can I tell you guys? I haven't done this in a while where I stayed out. I spoke with my dispatcher yesterday, and I had just the day before talked with her and been like, you know, gently complaining and being like, look, you know, I was given the impression when I spoke with the recruiter, like this was a major selling point to me, that you guys do like a 5-day dispatch and that you're on a path that is set ahead of time, and so you know where you're going. And that was really important to me, because I've been working in a place where we get these piecemeal loads one to the next and you never know where you're going and you have to wait, and I don't like that feeling of uncertainty. It makes it impossible to trip plan, etc. And she was really cool about it. And let's see, I don't know if I had included this video. I don't think I did, so let me backtrack a little bit and explain. So when I had gotten that call a couple days ago from the load broker and I was kind of caught off guard, I said the wrong thing and I almost lost us the load, because I just have never spoken to a load broker before, and I didn't realize that you just say, yep, okay, great, and then you call your dispatcher and work it out. You don't give any extraneous detail to the load broker. But he caught me in a weird moment, because I had just arrived at a drop-off, and he asked me if I could make it to this next spot on time, and I hadn't even really looked at it yet, and I was like, I don't know, I have to look at it, you know. And when I kind of didn't instill confidence in this guy. He was actually a pretty nice guy. I know some of those load brokers are not so pleasant, and I never want to deal with them, but apparently that's something I have to do from time to time, so I just got to deal with that. But I'm starting to see some, there we go. Do you hear that? I don't know if you could hear it, but a bug just hit the windshield right in front of my face. And now that it's like not raining so much, the windshield is starting to get mucky again, man. Oh, now the sky is starting to get really pretty. See, I just love the before and after, well, and during. I love the sky. What can I say? I like to check it out. It makes me think of being a kid laying in the grass staring at the sky. I used to do that a lot. So the load broker thing, yeah. So after I talked to that load broker, he apparently called my dispatcher, and it was not my regular dispatcher. She was out that day. It was this guy who I deal with some of the time, but I ended up talking. He's like, then starts blowing up my phone, and I was in the middle of doing a safety check on a trailer that I was picking up, and I really don't like to interrupt myself when I'm doing that, because that's how you make mistakes. And that's something I would tell a new driver too. Add this to the list of things that'll go in that video whenever I get around to it. If you're in the middle of doing a pre-trip or a safety check, don't let anything distract you if you can avoid it. Try not to, because you should do everything in the same order every time, the same way every time, because I'm telling you, the first time you don't, that's when you're going to miss something, and you're going to be driving and realize, oh, I didn't do this thing, and it's going to make you nervous, and then you're going to pull over because you're like, I didn't get underneath with the flashlight and make sure I've done that a few times where I pulled over in kind of a weird spot because I didn't remember getting under the trailer with my flashlight and looking to make sure that my kingpin was fully secured, and I was like, I don't care, I am looking. I have to get out and look right now, because I don't want to drive around with that thought in my head at all. So I'm not answering my phone. I don't care who's calling me. If I'm in the middle of checking this trailer, I'm going to finish and then I'll call you back. And that's what I did. And he was a little agitated. And I was agitated too, so I kind of gave him some attitude. I was like, so I'm gonna have to deal, I just get on the phone and like the first thing I say is like, so I have to deal with freight brokers now? Is that a thing? And he's like, well, yeah, when it's a brokered load. And I'm like, okay, well, that's something I've never done before. It would have been great to have a heads up. And he's like, yeah, because you pretty much lost us the load. And I was like, I didn't, or no, he's like, what did you say to him? And I don't even remember what exactly I said to him after that, but I basically did my best to say, you know, I didn't know what I should say. I might have said the wrong thing. I'm sorry, you know, but he's like, yeah, this isn't, basically his words were, I'm paraphrasing, this is not the right market to be losing loads. Like, we can't be doing that. And I felt bad. I'm a new driver. I don't want to be screwing things up like that. Oh, look at this. Do you see that farmhouse on the left there? I don't know if you can see it. So pretty with this sky. Love it. So he was agitated. I was agitated. I felt bad because, you know, I had made a mistake, obviously. And then I was also feeling immediately stressed because I'm like, okay, I got to get to a live load now. And then where am I going to park? And that live load was in the boonies, man. It was way out there. I don't even remember where I ended up staying now. I found something after that. But was that the same night that I stayed at the cute little quaint town? I don't think so. I don't know. It all blends together after a while, you know? No, that wasn't the same night. That was the night before. Anyway, so the freight broker ended up calling me back. And so when he did, he was like, so can you take this load? And I was like, oh, my dispatcher just told me you took it, you guys took the load off of us. But yeah, absolutely. I was just like, I don't care whatever. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm going to say, yes, sir, I got this. And that's all I did. I made the call short and sweet. I was like, yep, no problem, I got it. I was like, what temperature did they need it set at? Okay, great. And that was it. And it ended up being no big deal. And I got to the place. That was the time I picked up the product that was going to the pink slime factory. And the place I picked up from, the people were pretty cool, really nice yard driver. A lot of these yard drivers out there are really cool people, really nice guys. You know, you got your gruff dudes, you got your dudes that are over it, and then you got the overly aggressive ones that jack up landing gear all the time by the way that they drop trailers and stuff. But a lot of them, especially whenever I see an older yard driver, that's a good sign, because usually that's someone who's probably been a truck driver before, and they're usually really nice and respectful, because I think they understand. And it's all about your approach too. I've heard a couple of other drivers say this. My buddy Dirk says this. I've heard Josh say this on This Guy Trucks, his channel. Your approach, like, a lot of people will leave a situation, or they'll be angry at a situation because they're dealing with people that come across as rude. But you have to know that the way you approach them makes a difference. So if you approach them with kindness, if you ask them how their day is going, something that simple, and they seem like they have an attitude, as soon as you ask them that, they might be like, oh, this thing happened, and it has nothing to do with you, and it sort of disarms both of you and like makes the situation feel better. And what that comes back to is, like, we are all human beings and we all have feelings, and in this industry people like to pretend that they don't, and we're all like tough, and you know, but we're people, and you know, people like to feel respected and appreciated, all that good stuff. Oh, you like this? This guy just keeps getting better, man. I love it. Love it. Just gets me going. This is like part of my morning wake up, looking at the sky, watching it change, get more and more beautiful. So I hope I'm not a little too verbose for y'all, but I guess that's kind of my MO. And if you're still watching my channel at this point, you're probably used to it. So anyway, got that load back, got it picked up, no big whoop, everything was cool, you know. And that also speaks to another thing, which is sometimes you'll see a load that you have to do, and you start getting ahead of yourself and getting stressed and being like, oh, it's not going to work because of this, and you know, you just tell yourself all the worst case scenarios about how you're not going to make it in time, or all these things. And you have to just slow your roll. I'm not always good at that. I'm always a little high strung. That's how I've always been. I've been in somewhat of a permanent fight or flight mode a lot of my life, and I'm working on getting past that. So part of that is just learning how to chill the fuck out sometimes, you know. I'm deciding to let some swears fly a little bit, just not overdoing it, you know. I'm following Josh's lead. I'm gonna see what happens with his channel. Like, I don't have to say the F word every other word, but if I say it once or twice in a video, is it gonna kill me? Hopefully not, because I don't know. I hate editing myself, but I mean editing my colloquialisms, I guess. So yeah, we got that load back. That was fine. Oh, so what I was getting to is, yeah, I had this conversation with my regular dispatcher the next day when she was back, and I was like, hey, I didn't handle that well. I really just, it kind of caught me off guard, and I hope that the other dispatcher, I feel bad that I kind of put him in a bad spot, and everything turned out to be okay, you know. They're pretty cool. They're very laid back, and very understanding, and I think they're giving me a lot of leeway because they know I'm only have a year of experience and I'm new there and I'm learning. So I appreciate the fact that they're giving me grace that way. And I told her, I had this idea of how things were going to go. Oh, and when I had talked to that previous dispatcher, I said that to him too. I was like, I was under the impression I was supposed to have like a 5-day dispatch, and now I'm getting this like piecemeal, one load at a time thing, and I don't understand why that's happening. It's like I was given false information when I came into this company. And he's like, who told you that? Like, who told you that it's 5 days planned ahead? And I was like, the recruiter, your website, like it talks about it pretty clearly on their website too. He was like saying, no, that's not how it works or something. So when I talked with my regular dispatcher about it, she clarified that and said, we're just getting a feel for how you work right now. When you like to work, when you don't like to work, what hours you typically do, how many miles you like to do. And we're gonna work you into those 5-day runs. And the way those work is they don't have the plan like totally solidified on Monday morning. It's not, or whenever your start day is. It's not like you start out and your whole week from the beginning, but what places, what cities you're going to go to or towns. And then they build the plan as you go based on like your timing. And she was like, that way if, say you're supposed to be in, New Mexico on Wednesday, you can tell us, can you set the appointment for this time? This is when I'm going to get there, which I thought was really cool. They work with their drivers that way. So I'm remaining open-minded, and I'm just, trying to see, like, take it as it comes, day by day kind of thing. So anyway, I'm going to let the camera run a little bit longer to capture this amazing sky, and I'm going to go back to, God, isn't it just, I don't even need to say anything. You could just look at it and see for yourself. I love it so much. I hope you enjoy it too. I'll put some music over this and let you look at it while I go back to listening to NPR and drinking my coffee. I hope you have a great day.